Hey guys, before we dive into this episode, I want to mention show sponsor Baby Trend. Now, I'm sure you've heard of this company. I use their Snap and Go heavily. And I mean heavily when my two little boys were babies. I'm here to tell you they've done a total brand revamp as of late, and I'm excited to share that they're still offering you the best quality at the most affordable prices, but now they've upped their game even more, in particular with the Cover Me 4-in-1 convertible car seat. Now, this is unique in that it addresses the number one complaint experienced by mothers, and that's sun in the child's eyes. Well, the Cover Me 4-in-1 convertible car seat is here to stop that. Now, it does that with its innovative and patent-pending integrated canopy that offers high adjustability, ratcheting coverage, and side sun protection. That is key. So if you are in the market for a new car seat or anything baby-related, you know they've got you covered. Head on over to babytrend.com. You are listening to the Motherhood to Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here, as always. And if this is the first time that you've ever tuned in, welcome. I'm so glad that you found the show, and I hope you love it and do a deep dive into all the past episodes with amazing guests over the year. I mean, it still blows my mind. And today is no exception because we are talking about skin health and aging and longevity. And I think if you're a doctor tuning in, we have a lot of physicians who listen to the show. You're going to find this particularly interesting. And so we're talking all about cellular health. And of course, that's directly linked to aging. And I have founder and president of HUmineral, Candice Nicole, on the show, and she's sharing powerful and natural benefits of humic acid. You might know what humic acid is. You know, it's found in fruits and vegetables, but there's something more that goes on to it. And when you take it as a supplement, magical things start to happen to your cells. So we're talking about that, what it can actually do for you, and why it should be on your radar, especially as we head into really a new frontier of anti-aging and skin health. So I hope you enjoy this episode with Candice Nicole. If you do, of course, please share it with a friend, and please keep those reviews on Apple Podcasts coming. Thanks. Well, hello, Candice. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just to give our audience kind of some background about you, why don't we dive into your origin story? How did health and cellular health and aging in particular become your life's work?
So I grew up in a very healthy, conscious household. I had an aunt who was an herbalist, grew up on kind of a Jewish diet, so we were always very conscious of what we were eating. And I think it really started there. We didn't really go to the doctor unless, something was super major wrong. We took a lot of herbs, supplements. So that was my first entry into health. And then when I was when I left home, like at 17, I'm like, I'm never taking a supplement. There's a lot of things I didn't want to do. But when I was about 19, I noticed I would have friends over and I would cook, and I would always make sure that I had like green, protein, a starch. I was very, very balanced. So food for me started first, what I was putting into my body. But then along the way, I just was always very conscious of, whether it was makeup, what I was putting on my face, or it just was something that interested me. So I used to be in technology, but I was always doing something on the side. So I was selling like a health juice, and I had a lot of friends in health. And so I was always interested in that. And when I was about 25, across my desk came Humic Acid, a little pamphlet on it. And I was amazed by it because it was an antiviral. So long story short, that became what was important to me, although I did a lot of other supplements with, at that time, a bone and joint product. But then Humic Acid really took over for me personally because I felt it was like not a Band-Aid product. It's like it worked on the cells, and that's what I was very interested in. So it took about 7-8 years, but that ultimately became what I did, and it's how HUmineral was born. That's kind of the digest version. But really, it started with me reading about it, and what got me is that it was an antiviral, and it was all plant-based. And it's in everything we eat. We just don't get enough of it.
I love that. And I always admire, especially women who who stay true to a sense of inner knowing, a sense of intuition. I mean, even with the food that you chose, I mean, I know you grew up eating that way, but at the same time, usually when kids go off to college, they gain 20 pounds and drink a lot of alcohol, and they kind of lose that sense of home and how they were raised, especially if they were raised in a really healthy environment. So I love that you always stayed in alignment with that. And you were probably inspiring your friends to eat healthier, to live healthier as well.
I was. I'm always still doing that, but I have to tell you, friends are the hardest to convince. So I just basically want to be the example. So I do notice when they start to have health issues or something's bothering them, they do ask me. So then they, it has to be personal for them to listen to you, but then they start to see, oh, well, Candice is doing this and it seems to be working, or she's not gaining weight, or so whatever it is for them. So friends are the hardest. So my goal has always been, I would like to just be in everyone's medicine cabinet, on their kitchen counter, just to make them aware of, you have cells and your cells are regulating your immune system, and this is a food for your cells. So we eat hot dogs and salad and pizza, or even if we're pescatarian, vegetarian, we eat and we feed our body, but we don't typically feed ourselves. So for me, I'm always trying to teach people that if you keep your cells healthy, then your body's healthy. And that's what humic acid does.
Yeah, let's dive into it. So you said it's in plants, it's pretty much everywhere. What exactly is it? It's a mineral, but what does it do to the cells? Why do our cells, soak it up and need it to be really strong and healthy?
Yeah. Great question. Thank you. Humic and fulvic acid mineral, that's the technical name. And it's minerals. So you've heard of calcium, magnesium, boron. So it's all minerals. It's over 90 minerals, but you get all your major minerals and all your trace minerals. Major minerals are calcium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus. Then you have all your trace minerals, which are gold, selenium, molybdenum. You need all of these minerals because every single biological process on your body is dealing with a mineral. So if it's sleep, that's magnesium and selenium. You need it. If it's collagen, which everyone's really into, the two minerals that create collagen naturally in the body are magnesium and zinc. So what humic acid does, it's a 2-chain molecule. That's why it's able to do what it does. That's what makes it an antiviral, antiparasitic, antibacterial. So if you need calcium, and just to give you an idea, calcium thickens your blood, magnesium thins your blood. So if your blood is too thick or thin, then you start to have things happen, blood clots, heart attacks, all kinds of things. Humic and fulvic mineral understands that. The humic is the conglomerate molecule. It's the large chain. Fulvic is the short chain. So together they're doing different things. The humic is actually understanding what your body needs, because you're going to need something different than I need. I might need more calcium. So what it says, if this body needs calcium, it uptakes that amount that it needs. If it doesn't, then it works like a firewall. It won't allow the body to uptake it. It is only utilizing what your body needs. The fulvic molecule is the short chain. That's the chain that actually, you have your cells that actually grabs nutrients and carries it into the cell. But you don't want it in your cell if it's deemed your body doesn't need it. Because again, we all have different needs. So it's understanding. Humic acid is understanding what your body needs. So it's correcting things, if you will. It's fixing things. It's like a little tool in there. So a lot of people take it and they notice, whatever's going on for your body, because again, your cells are regulating your immune system. We all have different things going on. But from A to Z, every biological process is tied to a mineral.
Wow.
So that's why it's so powerful, because it's 2 chains. That's the key.
Right. So it's almost like it's coding or instructions so that, whatever you need, even if you're eating really healthy, it's like, okay, well, you actually need this. We're going to facilitate that. And here's how you do it.
Absolutely. You couldn't get all of the mineral nutrient. Your body is made up of minerals and water, so you need them to live. It's a necessity. So I always say it's like a lifestyle product. It's like you must drink water. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't get the amount of mineral nutrient. You could eat, 10 pounds of spinach or kale every day, and it still wouldn't be enough. So our foods don't have it, so you must supplement. Our motto here is that you have to work out, you have to eat well, and you have to supplement, and you need a powerful mineral, and that's what humic acid is.
Oh man, you just explained that so well. Like I got it, and I know the audience is too. I love it. No, well done.
I love what I get to do. I mean, I love it. I love learning about different things.
Yeah. I mean, because I think everyone that tunes into the show like wants to live their best life. I know that sounds super cliche, but we're all stressed. We're all busy. We're all trying to meet the demands of the day as best we can. And I know from personal experience, when you feel strong, when you feel healthy, when you feel like mentally you're solid, you can do whatever you want to do with your life. That's the point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without health, there's really nothing. We've been in COVID. So my yoga studio was closed. And I was doing yoga like 2 or 3 days a week. And then I was biking and, do different things, but I haven't been able to do that. So I got back to yoga and I hurt my arm a little bit because I just went overboard. And it was painful just like to brush my teeth. And it really had me thinking like, wow, if you, just one little limb, it's, so health is always on my mind. It's always about how important it is. And I feel like I get to do this every day to tell people how they can be a little bit healthier, a lot healthier.
Well, I think the crazy thing is, I consider myself a really healthy person, pretty knowledgeable on all the latest data and studies that are coming out. I had never heard of humic acid minerals, and I'm ashamed to say that. Do you think this is something a lot of people know about?
I would say in the last 5-6 years, becoming very big. People are knowing, but 10, 15 years ago, super foreign. The name is interesting. So, but now people are becoming aware of minerals and how important they are. You've probably heard of zinc. You've heard of selenium, calcium, magnesium, because these are the major minerals that people really think about, or when they're sick, they go take zinc. So having a mineral compound like humic acid, it's a funny name. So no one really knew what it was 10 years ago. But funny enough, like small nutrition stores who specialize in health and special herbs and stuff, they knew. So most people, when they get ill, they go to a nutrition store, they seek things out. So those kind of people, yes, but the mainstream, no. But humic acid is becoming mainstream because of what it does. And the biggest thing I feel is that it's an antiviral and it's a food. It is food in supplement form. And to give you kind of a visual, if you eat salad, you tend to eat the leaf. That stalk that grew it, that's where humic acid lives. It's growing the leaf. If you eat strawberries, you tend to eat the red berry, that green leaf on top. That's where humic acid lives. It's plant and it's growing into the food, but we just are not getting enough of it. So
that's why supplementation is so key. And I feel like, with all the documentaries coming out now about like the quality of soil and how depleted our soils are, you've got glyphosate, which is basically an antibiotic that we're all consuming. You need, this other supplementation so that you are actually functioning at your best. I totally get that. One of the things I think that was so exciting when I was doing research for this podcast was Suzanne Summers talking about humic acid and how, she's used that for anti-aging. Now, that is definitely a topic that this audience can get on board with. Let's talk about, besides the antiviral, yes, that's nice. Let's be healthy, but let's talk about how good it makes us look and feel.
Yes. So, Suzanne Summers, she actually wrote a book, A New Way to Age, last year, and she gave us a chapter in that book. She had not heard of it, and one of her doctors referred her to us. So she started taking it, and she noticed a difference right away. And she would call us and say, what is this? And she was doing more probing into it, and so she got great results. So she put it in her book.
Wow.
One of the things we talked about a bit ago about is the magnesium and the zinc. That builds collagen naturally. Like collagen is everywhere in your body. It lubricates your joints. It's like keeping the electricity in cases, keeps everything in. So being healthy is really about, it's everything. It's hormonal. So whether your hair, your nails, or diabetes, cancer, all of this is cellular. Every single thing we get, it starts with your cells. You get inflammation, the cells start to mutate. We all have cancer-causing cells. It's just what turns them. So that is what I love about humic acid. And that's what is really hard for people to wrap their mind around. And I think when Suzanne will call us, she was asking these questions, and her assistant was like, what, because I don't understand how this is working. And you can, so I always tell people, read about it, research about it, because you'll understand. Every biological process on our body has to do with a mineral. So sleep, hormones, it's going to work on the issue of what is happening with your body. So that's why when people take it, it's hard to say, well, this is what it's going to do for you. I do find that probably 99% of the people that take the product say they're sleeping better and they have more energy, because immediately we notice those things. But the reason people might say, well, my goodness, could this be this? I had this phlegm and all of a sudden it's gone, or I had, a migraine, or I had thyroid issues. Does it help you lose weight? And so people start to notice different things because that's what minerals do. And this is a complete mineral compound that understands what your body needs, because it's a 2-chain molecule. It's just that simple. And if you think about it, like we come from the dust, we go back to the dust, and that's where these minerals come from.
This episode is sponsored by Public Goods. Public Goods is your one-stop shop for everything that you need for home and life. Now, it's completely online. You're not going to find a store out in your neighborhood, but that's kind of the beauty of it in 2021. I would rather have everything that I need delivered to my door when I need it at an amazing price. And the other cool thing about them is everything is in this minimalistic aesthetic. So it's black and white, very clean lines. Everything looks really good in your bathroom or your kitchen or your pantry. And you can feel good about the products that you're bringing into your home. Everything is heavily researched. A lot of the packaging is sustainable, is biodegradable. They do a really good job at taking a more responsible stance towards the environment and towards quality. And of course, since you're a listener of the show, they're going to hook you up with a good deal. You get $15 off your first purchase if you go to publicgoods.com/unstressed. That's publicgoods.com/unstressed, or you can use unstressed at checkout.
They grow naturally occurring in the soil. So they're growing into everything we eat. If animals are actually left alone to graze, this is what they're munching on. They're munching on humus, which creates humates, which is humic and fulvic acid mineral, all plant-based.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's going to be expressed in your skin, in the quality and the texture of your skin.
That is something that people notice, because we do a skin spray, but people notice when they take our pills or our liquid that they do notice a difference in their skin, or they notice that they're cleaning out very easily because it has its own, it helps to detoxify. So people notice different things, but that's why it's so powerful. And I love it because, we had a customer in Vegas, and she was 70 something years old, and she had not had a bowel movement in 3 years. And she was a little bit older. She had not had it. She could not go to the bathroom. She just, I don't know, but she was eating greens. She was making her own in her backyard. I met her in a store, and she looked really good. She was very thin because she, wasn't really eating anything because she was afraid that she had diarrhea. So but she couldn't have a normal bowel movement for 3 years. She went to several different doctors. They couldn't find anything wrong with her blood work. So I had her try some of our liquid mineral in the store. And she said, oh, I can't afford it. But I said, oh, just try it. 2 days later, she called us. She had her first bowel movement. And I told her she probably had parasites. Sure enough, she had her first bowel movement, and she saw little white things there. It does so many things that, it's such a powerful mineral. And I guess what I try to tell, and most people are starting to be aware of this, that vitamins do not even work without minerals. Mineral is like that spark plug that tells vitamins how to work in the system. And humic acid is a very powerful mineral. 2 chains, so that conglomerate molecule, the humate, understands what your body needs. It's thinking, it's understanding, oh, this body needs more selenium, or this body needs more gold. I mean, you need minerals, and some minerals you only need in very small trace amounts, but you need them. It has iodine, so it helps with thyroid. So literally every biological process. So that's what we're about here, is cellular health. I mean, for me personally, when I was deciding to do a company, I wanted to do something that was really going to change health. I've always been into that. So this for me is that.
Yeah, you picked the master code. You picked the master code for everything.
Right. I love it. Because it does work, and it's really satisfying to get people, I'm not kidding. A day doesn't go by where people find results. And that's, for me, I want to help people. So this is how I do it.
Yeah. Now, to the woman listening who's like, okay, well, I'm just going to take this and then my diet can go out the window, or I don't have to exercise. I mean, clearly that's not the case. Like, you still have to eat healthy and do the right things, right?
Yes. Three things I say you have to do to be healthy. You must exercise. Very important. I actually read a book called Younger Next Year. I forget who writes it. It's such a powerful book. Everybody should read it because it will teach them why you need to work out. You must eat as well as you can, as organic, and really I eat what my body sort of craves, and I think you've probably heard about that, eating what's right for you. But eating, and then you must supplement because you just can't get all the nutrients today. So I take several things myself. I'm a big believer in antioxidants. Humic acid is the mother of antioxidants, but I believe in resveratrol and lots of different things. I do tocos. There's a balance. So I probably have 30 things in my cabinet, but I'm doing about 5 or 6, and then I'll switch and do another because the body is always changing, especially in seasons. I happen to live in California. We always sort of have we don't have a real torrential winter here, but we do have some seasons. But if I'm traveling, my body might need something different when I'm in a colder climate. So we just need to be aware of those things. In the winter, like my hair is drier, so I'm taking more supplements for that. But what I do is because humic acid is a carrier, it grabs nutrients and carries it to the cells. So now all of those things you're taking, all of the nutrients you're getting from the foods you're eating, they're going to work better. So what I do to save money is I only may take one resveratrol or one alpha lipoic acid. So my bottle lasts me a longer time because I'm taking a powerful mineral that's actually carrying these nutrients to the cell. And that's a thing that we hear from a lot of people. My urine used to be really yellow when I took my supplements, and I'm noticing that it's not now.
Yeah.
Because the minerals are absorbing. And that's what you needed to do. Even your foods that you eat, you want the nutrients to absorb.
That's huge. That's huge. I would think, especially with people who have issues with like leaky gut and things like that. I mean, they're not absorbing anything and they feel terrible and fatigued all the time.
Absolutely. Humic acid helps with SIBO, which is small intestinal. Your immune system is in your gut largely. And a lot of people have gut issues. And they'll get a lot of benefit from taking some minerals. Yeah.
I am curious, what is you're obviously very healthy. You like yoga and working out and eating right. What is your core routine, or, do you have a core routine or core supplements that no matter what season it is, you always have those, ready to go in the morning?
I do. I do a smoothie every morning. That's my breakfast. And I probably put about 10 things in it at least. One of the things I will say, because I tell a lot of people this and they're like, oh, I didn't think of that. So one banana lasts me 7 days because I'm using a very small piece. A lot of people make a smoothie and it's so sweet. It's full of all, because fruit is still sugar. So I'm very conscious about not taking in a lot of sugar. But when I want a piece of cheesecake, I eat it. I mean, I'm not crazy. But definitely my smoothie in the morning. And then I'm not really hungry, but I eat something like maybe some nuts, or I might have a salad, or I love those seaweed papers. So something light. And then dinner is usually my heaviest meal, but it's always pretty healthy. Fish or chicken. I don't eat red meat, nothing against it, but I just don't. And then my core supplements, I believe in taking like an omega, and, my minerals are my base, and tocos. Those two things are my base, tocos and the minerals. And then I do hemp milk. And then I'm putting in different things like for my eyes. What I always tell people is, you want to take care of things before they start to go. And that did start from, my mom. I would say, she was very, very balanced meals. Like, we couldn't have a lot of junk. So I'm grateful for that now. I wasn't then. But yeah, so I think you don't need to, spend, a ton of money, because a lot of people say, well, it's very expensive to buy the supplements. And so I always say, well, it's very expensive to go to the doctor. So buy a few things, and I always tell people switch it up. You might want to take, resveratrol for a month and then take something else, another antioxidant, and just take the one. This is how you can save yourself some dollars, because you're taking a powerful mineral. This is what we recommend people do if they ask us. So yeah, and then working out is always a part of my life. At least 4 to 5 days a week, I'm doing some kind of working out. We just came out of COVID, so I was doing a lot of hiking, which I always did. And I took to more running outside. But I'm so glad to be back to the gym now.
Yeah.
I'm a treadmill person. If I go to the gym, I'm really not a gym person. I like to be outside, but I believe in doing different health modalities. Like you want to definitely, like I do cycling, and I'll do that at the beach, or I'll go to a cycling class, because your body, your cells are, your body is like a computer of cells that are your chips, and you need to shake it up. And so, I had a friend, she was doing the treadmill for like 3 years, 30 minutes every day. That's what she did. And she noticed she was gaining weight. She's like, I used to lose weight. And I said, you need to do different things. You need to sort of shake your body up. So do some cycling, do some different kind of cardio, do some yoga, you need to strengthen. So it's a balance, you have to do a balance. So that's what I do. I do a little bit of cycling, a little bit of yoga. Hiking is one of my favorite things because I get to be outside, and I do sort of push it. I like to do hills and really do it.
Yeah. Well, you are definitely in the place to do that. I mean, California is so beautiful for hiking. Have you ever seen any dangerous wildlife out there?
Yes, I have. Yes, I've only seen one snake, but it was a big one, just basking in the sun. Because a lot of my girlfriends are very afraid to go hiking because of that. And I've seen some coyotes.
But no, like bobcats or anything?
I haven't, no. But we have a lot of coyotes where I live. So I was in Sequoia and in my car, thank goodness, but a big black bear just walked calm. I mean, huge. This bear was so huge, but seemed really friendly, but just slowly walked across the road. And, I liked seeing that, but, I didn't want to hike too much after I saw that. I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
California, gotta love it.
Okay. Well, I can't believe we're coming to the end. This was so informative, so educational. I so appreciate how clearly you explained everything. Yeah. With everything that you have researched and learned in your life, just, your own sense of intuition and inner knowing, what's something that you want the audience to remember from this talk?
If your cells are healthy, your body's healthy. And without your health, there's really nothing. I mean, and I keep thinking, what can I do to motivate people to take better care of their health? Because I was saying earlier that your friends are the hardest to tell, and you see their health issues and you know what they can do to change it. But so that I would love to, in the future, somehow I'm thinking, how can I do something to motivate people to do more about their health? But for me personally, what I try to do is to teach people that your cells are regulating your immune system, and you want to keep them healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think you're doing that. And with, Suzanne Summers' book out there with a whole chapter with HUmineral in there.
I'm so grateful. Really.
Okay. Yeah. So where can our listeners find out more about you and HUmineral?
Yeah, you can go to HUmineral.com. We are in stores nationwide, nutrition stores. We're in Whole Foods. But yeah, we actually have a blog, which is really informative. We go into how these minerals help your fascia, which is the skin underneath your skin. We talk about all kinds of topics. So go to our blog. That's a great place to get just a plethora of information on what these minerals do specifically for every single area of your body. But HUmineral.com, you can follow us on Instagram or Twitter. We like to deal with our audience direct. So we actually didn't even have an Instagram until like maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
We talk a lot with our customers. Just they call us. We used to do a lot of shows prior to COVID. So we'll be back out there doing shows, very big in the yoga community. So yeah, because we try to go where people are health conscious and health focused, even where they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you, Candice, for all of the work that you're doing in the world.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend, and be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so we can get the show out to more and more mothers all over the world.